Order. Have a roll call, please.
President Weatherspoon.
Still here.
Trustee Martin.
Here.
Trustee Pierce.
Here.
Trustee McManus.
Here.
Trustee Welch.
Here.
Trustee Wishaw.
Here.
Trustee Lambert.
Here.
Public comment. 2-minute opportunity for citizens to, approval of the minutes from the Committee of the Whole, May 21.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the Committee of the Whole, May 21st.
Have a second? We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on those minutes? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes carry. Public comment, provide a 2-minute opportunity for citizens to voice their opinions to the Committee of the Whole. Committee of the Whole cannot respond as it may conflict with open meeting requirements. Anybody like to address us? Good evening.
Valerie Lansell, 10810 7 Mile Road, Caledonia. I just want to talk briefly about a continuing business 7C teleconference policy. I am on a special plan committee as a member. I work full-time. Unfortunately, I do need to travel. We had a very important meeting last week that I was not able to attend. I offered to call in from my hotel room and participate, and there was no option available. So as you talk about teleconferencing, I don't know what that's in context of, but if you would consider special committees where those of us that do work full-time but want to do our civic duty, want to participate, I would like you to consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you mind signing in, please? Thank you very much. Anybody else? Committee updates. Nancy, you got anything from Plan Commission?
Pete, do I have anything?
Are you deferring to?
Well, I haven't heard anything from,
Okay.
Well,
My
since,
guy.
since our last meeting at the May 18th Plan Commission meeting, the Plan Commission discussed the mixed use, the possible creation of a mixed use district in our zoning code. They reviewed and recommended a conditional use permit for a car lot over at 6106 Douglas. That's just north of the old fire station. And there was a master sign plan that was reviewed for one of the industrial buildings in the Caledonia Business Park along the interstate. And then also they had elections for vice president, and they will have elections for secretary for the committee at their June meeting. These items have been recommended and forwarded to the village board for consideration at the June 16th meeting.
They wouldn't let us assign somebody to secretary who wasn't
Because
there.
she wasn't here.
I thought that is what missing member becomes secretary. I thought
Right.
that was the rule.
Thank you for your report, Nancy. It was very well
Oh,
done.
you're welcome. I'm so glad I have such able
Very
support.
succinct, yes. Thank you. Parks and Rec, Holly, do you
No,
have
I,
I do not have anything new at this time to present.
Thank you. Caledonia Utility District, Mr. Wishaw.
Tomorrow night at our utility meeting, we will be discussing a water looping project in Franksville and Morris Street, which will impact White Manor subdivision. And last month's meeting, some of the residents were there concerned about costs, so we'll be presenting costs to them tomorrow night. And a potential course of action, we may do another survey to see what level of interest is at this point. So if you want to join us tomorrow night for a lively discussion, 6 o'clock.
Thank you, Mr. Wishaw. Trustee Martin, do you have anything from Visit Racine County?
Todd is not here, so he wanted a more thorough discussion of what's going on there, and he has indicated to me, and I think also to the new executive director, that he has some expertise in tourism and that kind of thing. And so my suggestion is that I simply provide a link to the minutes so that I don't go through the whole thing here.
Okay.
I believe that Elaine had said that this full discussion isn't appropriate anyway, so in future, I'll provide a link to the minutes.
I think we should invite him here too.
Oh,
Come and say hi.
once a year, yeah, we
Okay.
will. And we did.
Right.
The former director, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Fran. Other committees is me. I don't have anything. Moving on to 6A, new business suggested items to be placed on future meeting agendas with no action tonight. Does anybody have anything they'd like to contribute?
I'd like to see if we can do a roundup on where we stand on looking at our TIDs over the last, say, 3 years. looking at how much actual tax income we have gotten from each one of those in general, just so we have a feeling of where we stand.
Didn't Todd just send out a TID analysis?
He did an analysis that gave us history, and I'm happy to go
Historical.
back and look at it, but I was looking at a 3-year saying I'll pick on TID 1 since I know it doesn't really have anything. So for TID 1, how much taxes have we taken in the last 3 years to the village?
Could we push that to the finance committee for a starter?
Sure.
Mhm.
Okay, any other suggested items? Seeing none, we'll move on to 7A, continuing business, discussion on using Village Hall for the community center functions. I know this just came up in public comment again, but we have still, because we're formulating new committees, we're kind of holding back on some of that, but we will. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to add on that?
Well, what I was thinking is that I posted a thing on the Caledonia area Facebook page just saying that was but I just did that today because this was a busy 2 weeks for me, so I just got to it. And I'm thinking that perhaps the village, I know that the village sometimes posts on that Caledonia area community page. At least they have done once or twice, correct? So maybe if you post something on that, asking for comments from the public on that, there may be groups like you mentioned the senior citizens, and so did the person who had spoken to me about it. And there may be other groups who would like to use it. A blood drive makes sense. Anyway, I'm just thinking that if we get input from the public, that would be helpful. And if it comes from the village, then it'll be timely and and then they can direct the comments directly to the village rather than to me.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Because Administrator is not here, I will pass along the information shared with me. The reason why he wanted it on this agenda was because it's recently come to our attention that our long-term lease with the Caledonia Lions Club, who leases the old Linwood School from us, is coming due. It's a 25-year lease, and we thought that you might want to look at this or discuss it because there is a provision in their lease that it has to be made available to the public for groups like 4-H Club, things like that. So they just wanted to let you know that that is also an option for community events that possibly the Linwood.
Okay, so we
own
own the
Linwood,
property
own
and we
the-
lease it to the Lions Club?
Correct.
We didn't know.
Okay, is
Yeah,
that
we
building?
didn't either.
We
I've
didn't
seen
know.
it. I thought it was not used.
I thought
mean,
it was the
looked-
Lions Club.
I thought it was closed up, but maybe
So
not.
we will be bringing that back to the board for consideration for renewal of their lease.
Then do you need us to make a motion to hold this open until we have time to look
Yeah.
at the
I don't
lease?
think so. It's just to provide you with additional information.
Well, then keep it on continuing business? Okay.
Discussion on traffic engineer. I believe that was your idea, Frank.
No, it was mine.
No, it's Holly.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What are we-
Brian,
what
I've
are we
been
doing?
eagerly awaiting this. Sorry that it's been postponed a couple of times. This came about because I think that the overall traffic concern in this village extends to multiple different intersections and roads. Some of our citizens get quite passionate, which is understandable. And so I received a phone call and had a discussion with a citizen regarding the possibility or why we don't employ our own traffic engineer, or if that's even a possibility. And so I asked Ryan to look into it. So I said I would bring it up and we could hear about it.
I guess for starters, I am not a traffic engineer
Correct.
by designation. I am a municipal engineer and I'm the village engineer for the village of Caledonia. Traffic engineer, as I'm sure you all can imagine, is a special discipline within civil engineering. Very, disciplined in that specific field with traffic operations, network signals, flow analysis of vehicles and things like that. A lot of the professionals that work on traffic analyses, specifically like TIAs that we see a lot of, those are not only PEs or professional engineers, but they're also professional traffic operation engineers. And a lot of those require an additional 4 years of work experience, passing another exam. I think it's a 6-hour exam that has a 3-year certification. So that's just generally what we see with the people who do our traffic analysis, especially with those TIAs. I reached out to TADI, who is the most commonly used in our area traffic engineering firm. I actually asked for their rates because they are the ones that are doing a lot of this work. And just to give a reference senior traffic engineers who are licensed as PEs as well as these PTOEs, these professional transportation operations engineers, are at $177.50 an hour. Another couple 172s, 152 for a senior traffic engineer level 2. A traffic safety engineer is $142 an hour, and then so on and so forth. It goes down from there. But I guess ultimately what it comes down to is that is my job description and or my job as a whole is not as a traffic engineer, and you will not find many communities that have that level of a staff member.
I certainly appreciate that. I understand exactly what you're saying on the specialty. But I agree with Holly that one of our concerns is our traffic patterns and movement overall in the village. So maybe we should consider talking to TDI?
TADI.
TADI, and just get if we wanted them to do a plan or review for us at the village, even if it's just our main arteries, what would that cost us since we now have an idea of cost? What do you think?
Is that something that, I mean, we're talking about our main arteries, right? 5 mile, 4 mile.
6 miles, 7.
It's going to be 5 mile. Yeah. Is that because we take
What-
on complaints that individualize areas, 4.5 mile, 4 mile, the 5 mile and Highway 38 issue. Ryan, what is the best way forward to start being able to tackle some of these areas in order to create what we plan to be our vision for the movement of traffic through this community safely?
I guess a couple things. One, I would hope most good engineers, when they're out of their depth or when they're in a different position, we try to get the best information possible, and that's why we go to traffic engineers for traffic analyses. So that's just one thing. So that we wouldn't do any of that stuff in-house, generally speaking. Secondly, I don't know if that answer necessarily, I think, gets off topic for what was on the agenda for today, but I think we've discussed in the past that I think they wanted to complete the comprehensive plan. And then when that comprehensive plan was there's an aspect of it that's transportation related. I think using some of that information could then piggyback your discussions in reaching out to somebody like TADI, providing a scope of work you're looking for and requesting a quote for that type of service. And maybe they'd even come in and provide maybe more direction on that. But at that time, I mean, I think we're kind of getting off topic here as far as what a credentialing.
I guess this
traffic
wasn't
engineers.
labeled correctly. I wanted to have this conversation of, instead of us just saying, let's talk about 4 mile, let's talk about 5 mile and 38. We need to come up with a comprehensive plan for this village on these types of things going forward, so that we don't just keep, when we have citizens come up and talk to us about a certain intersection or a certain street, we don't just decline them because we can't spend the 15 or 16,000 that it costs for the traffic study, right? That's our average traffic study. So whether that needs to go on the agenda in the future soon to get somebody here like you recommend to start pointing us down that path. But I think as we begin these developments and we look into what we're doing here, I think we need to figure out how to move traffic through Caledonia safely.
I have a suggestion here. Tom, can we retroactively have Holly make a suggestion under 6 new business?
I was just gonna say the same thing. Let's put it under new business.
Let's do that.
We'll bring it up under that and talk about it.
Ryan, how should we structure that topic
But we
in a way that
remember-
you just suggested?
But remember, he talked about the comprehensive land use plan, which has got about 18 months still to go.
Okay, so item 6 is no action. It's just, we're putting something else on that.
I have a comment.
Mr. Wishaw.
Just a reminder, at our meeting 2 weeks ago, we were informed that we have a financial hole coming up in the next couple of years.
Right.
Last week, I was presented, and as well as Prescott, with a high-level analysis of that hole. It's pretty ugly.
Mhm.
I already talked to Wayne and Todd that we're putting this on the agenda for next week's finance committee meeting, but I'm sorry, but discretionary spending, as that's what this is, in my opinion, is gonna have to be taken a very, very close look at it. So we can talk about this, but I wouldn't hold out any hope that we're gonna be able to spend money on it. If you saw what I saw, you're going to see it at the next meeting, I hope. We've got a problem to deal with coming up here, so.
We do. All right, thank you. So we'll add it to item 6A, if you would, please.
She doesn't know what to put, I don't think.
By that.
Maybe for 6A, discussion on potential
Are you
ways.
talking about this week agenda? I
No.
don't know what you're.
We're talking
referring
about
to.
Sorry.
under 6A for next, which is new
For
business.
future,
Oh,
we went
for
back to
future.
6A.
Right. We
To-
diverted.
You want to change the topic of this item for a future discussion?
Right.
that should be
Correct.
more
Yes,
involved.
please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now I see.
Do you need it worded out, or you okay?
Yeah,
Okay,
we got it.
But it won't be credentialing.
Review of teleconferencing policy.
Yeah, I think there's agenda material in here of 3 different sources. This came up, I guess I'll pick on me, when I was out playing Get New Shoulder. I spent one whole meeting looking at somebody's lovely striped shirt from not here. We don't currently have a way to live stream or anything else our board meetings. That was kind of the talk behind it. And when we did it, the big question, and I know it went to Wayne, was, well, what would it potentially cost to equip this room? Now, the police department's training room already is fully equipped for this kind of thing. So I think there's 3 offerings sitting in the data here. And I totally agree with what Valerie brought forward, that we should also make sure that we can have teleconferencing. I mean, digital, it's in today's world. Sometimes people, it works out to not be here physically, but we are trying to be here. So do we want to look at these 3 options or what?
So there were, 2 weeks ago, there were 3 items with wildly different prices
Correct.
on them. With this agenda, there's only one, which was the
Oh.
lowest price one,
Well, I read the 3. Was that, yeah, the first one was $8,000
unless I didn't scroll to the
and
bottom.
one was 56,000 and one was 45, I think.
Those are close bids.
Right. Well, you're an engineer. Why would
Yeah.
I'm surprised?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just the one.
Just the ones.
And it's the lowest one. The other 2 were so wildly different, I worried that we were asking, or the vendors weren't interpreting our instructions correctly, because they were so wildly different. I think the first thing we need to do is decide whether we're trying to solve for that or remote participation. To me, those are 2 different things. I wholly agree with Valerie that somebody trying to participate in a forum that's not binding should be able to dial in and participate. That seems reasonable, but it's a separate thing, separate solution probably as well. I'm a big fan of solving that problem and solving and
Prove your point.
Are you doing this? Is
I'm
that
doing it on
demonstration?
purpose. Yeah, I'm doing it on purpose. There's a button underneath that I'm clicking with my foot. I'm a big fan of getting us to live streaming. The kids are doing it. We ought to be able to do it. And it doesn't seem like it's, despite the doom and gloom from Mr. Wishaw, it doesn't even seem like it's that expensive. And it is our primary function to do things for the residents. So I think we should pursue it. But before we go diving in, because those 3 bids were so wildly different, I think we need to just checkpoint and make sure that the one that's here in this agenda actually solves the problem we're trying to solve.
We need an ad hoc committee.
Or
So
add it
maybe
to
we
the
do.
ad
No,
hoc.
I just think the staff needs to do it. I don't think the board, no offense, I don't think the board has the expertise
Why are you pointing at me?
to make heads or tails of these things.
I
So,
totally agree.
We should just
Yeah.
direct the staff to handle it. Just
Well,
make
and
it
also,
happen.
if you look at the proposed estimate, he said, thank you for sending over the system details in the meeting recording. So it sounds like this gentleman hasn't physically been on site, had an opportunity to be here on
Right.
site and talk
There-
directly with staff.
Yeah, and he ends with, if you'd like a formal proposal, we can schedule. So I think we ask the staff to pursue this and take it to the next level of detail so that the board has something actionable. For the purpose of solving that problem, the reverberation problem and the live streaming.
stream.
That I believe is the scope we should attack.
Strict to, okay.
So what I have is direct staff to pursue additional information and additional quotes. Does that sum up
A formal proposal
a formal
to
proposal?
solve the reverberation problem.
Well, you want to get that?
Yep.
specific
Yeah, that's,
Do you want-
that's,
Okay,
that's
for
what,
this, okay.
right. Reverberation problem, or the audio problem. You can just say the audio problem, that's broader. And live streaming. Mm-hmm, yeah,
So you'd like to make that motion?
that's a motion.
I'll second.
You won.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, we're at the bottom, adjournment. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.